Before we deconstruct the exact cognitive architecture required to manage a multi-generational wealth in Emirates, I have exactly 3 critical questions for you to answer in the comments below. Number 1. Are you currently dedicating 100% of your cognitive bandwidth to mastering a single highly specialized niche, completely blind to how that niche interacts with the broader macroeconomic grid? Number 2. If a billionaire handed you an interconnected problem involving UK exit taxes, Dubai real estate, and a digital asset custody, would you freeze? Or would you know exactly how to synthesize the solution? Number 3. Do you understand the mathematical reason why the highest paid executive inside Dubai's trillion-dollar multifamily offices are tactical generalists rather than domain experts? Let me know your answers. If you are new to the channel, here is my intro. I'm Dr. HR and I approach the global labor and capital market not with emotional, comforting advice, but as a structural, algorithmic system. I hold a PhD in human resources, a master's from prestigious Tata Institute of Social Sciences TISS in Mumbai, and a bachelor's in computer engineering. Operating on the ground here in Dubai since 2010, consulting for Tier 1 corporate entities, sovereign wealth funds, and apex tech founders across the Middle East, I have monitored exactly how true sovereign wealth is managed and protected. The market does not reward you for memorizing a textbook. It rewards you for your ability to architect the entire system. You have been told your entire life that hyper-specialization is the only way to the top. But Dubai's massive trillion-dollar multifamily offices are currently proving everything wrong. In the world's most volatile geopolitical markets, the ultra-wealthy are quietly firing their niche expert and hiring tactical journalists. Instead, discover exactly why deep siloed knowledge is becoming a massive financial liability in 2026. Inside the Burj Khalifa's private boardroom and the secure vaults of Dubai International Finance Center DIFC, a new breed of advisors is taking over. They aren't tax lawyers and they aren't traditional equity analysts. They are master synthesizers who connect global sovereign wealth with complex private equity. We are exposing the absolute secret of how these generalists manage billions of dirhams by seeing the structural pattern that specialized experts blindly miss. Why are the world's richest families betting their fortunes on people who know little bit of everything rather than a lot of one thing? In Dubai, the era of hyper-specialists is officially over. We are diving into the mental agility in the cross-border systems, thinking that the elite now values above all else. Before I completely dismantle the illusion of expertise, expose the exact mechanics of a multi-family office boardroom, and give you the precise architectural blueprint to pivot your career into Sovereign Synthesizer, hit the subscribe button and press the notification bell. I post daily videos showing you exactly how to navigate the global labor and capital market using cold, hard engineering logic. You do not want to miss these execution protocols. Stop being a specialized tool, start being the architect who wields the tools. Grab a notebook, it is time to elevate your cognitive baseline. Phase 1. The Contrarian revelation, the death of a hyper-specialist. We must first diagnose the exact debilitating career illusion that the legacy education system and the corporate matrix have sold you. For the last 40 years, the blueprint for success was strictly linear. Niche down, you were told to become the absolute best international tax lawyer, or the most specialized derivative trader, or the foremost expert in Oracle database architecture. The theory was that if you specialize deeply enough, you would become indispensable. In the May 2026, this theory is mathematically dead. Hyper-specialization has been violently commoditized by two forces: artificial intelligence and global outsourcing. When pure specialized knowledge is required, for instance, reciting the exact clauses of 2026 UK non-dom tax reforms or generating a complex hedging algorithm, a multifamily office, the MFO, does not need to pay a human $500,000 a year. They query a highly trained large language model or they outsource the specific biological task to a specialized boutique firm in Singapore or London on a fractional basis. The hyper-specialist is no longer a sovereign operator. The hyper-specialist is an API. They are the tool that can be plugged in and unplugged at will. Dubai's multifamily offices, which manages a colossal wealth of ultra-high net worth individuals, the UHNWIs, fleeing volatile tax regimes globally, have realized this. They are executing a massive contrarian pivot. They are actively purging the hyper-specialist from their executive board and replacing them with tactical generalists. A tactical generalist is an operator who possesses a functional, high-level understanding of law, taxation, real estate, digital asset, geopolitics, and human psychology. They are not the absolute best in any single category, but they are the only biological operator capable of weaving all three categories together into a unified, risk-adjusted value stream. In the high-stakes world of multi-generational wealth, deep siloed knowledge is no longer an asset, it is a catastrophic liability. Phase 2. The why you are wrong. Curiosity gap, the liability of silos. To understand why the world's richest families are making this structural shift, we must decode the exact physics of domain blindness. Why are the billionaires betting their fortunes on generalists? Because wealth preservation is a multi-variable equation, and specialists only optimize for a single variable. Let us run the physics of a catastrophic failure caused by a specialist. A high net worth family from the UK decides to relocate their capital to the UAE to escape the new 2025-2026 exit taxes inheritance tax rates. They hire a brilliant, highly specialized tax attorney. The tax attorney looks at the board and optimizes purely for tax efficiency. They structure an offshore holding company in Caribbean to shield a global dividend. The tax optimization is mathematically perfect, but the tax attorney suffers from a domain blindness. They do not understand the nuanced psychology of a family's second generation. They do not understand the Middle Eastern real estate compliance, and they do not understand the modern decentralized finance. Because the holding company is in a highly scrutinized offshore jurisdiction, the family's tier 1 private bank in Dubai refuses to clear their incoming capital transfer due to stringent 2026 anti-money laundering AML compliance algorithms. The family's capital is frozen. They cannot purchase their intended $20 million villa on Palm Jumeirah. The patriarch children, frustrated by lack of liquidity and rigid trust structures, initiate a hostile biological legal dispute within the family. The tax attorney optimized the tax variable to 0, but they mathematically destroyed the operational liquidity and the family harmony. They won the battle and lost the war. The tactical generalists operate on a completely different cognitive plane. They do not suffer from domain blindness. They see the entire board. They understand that a 5% tax inefficiency is completely acceptable if it is guarantees 100% banking liquidity, absolute family harmony, and flawless compliance with Dubai International Finance Center DIFC Foundation framework. The era of the hyper-specialist is officially over because specialists optimize silos. The elite now values the mental agony to optimize the system. Phase 3, the high-stakes storyteller inside the DIFC boardroom. We must map the exact execution of a tactical generalist in the real world. Let us look inside the secure, soundproofed boardroom of the DIFC, where the true sovereign leverage is deployed. We are witnessing the execution of a master synthesizer. A massive influx of capital is arriving in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. An ultra-high net worth family from Asia lands in the UAE carrying $500 million in liquid capital, a massive portfolio of commercial real estate and a significant holding in digital assets. They are terrified of a geopolitical instability and requires immediate multi-generational structuring. The family sits in the boardroom with a multi-family office chief investment officer. The CIO is not a specialized trader, they are master synthesizer. The table is surrounded by specialists. The corporate structuring lawyer, the wealth manager, and the crypto custodian suggest moving the digital asset into a cold storage vault in Switzerland. The structuring lawyer suggests building a complex web of British Virgin Islands shell companies to hold the real estate. The wealth manager suggests locking the liquid capital into a 10-year private equity fund. If left alone, these specialists would tear the family's wealth into incompatible fractured silos. The master synthesizer steps in. They deploy the cold cross-border system thinking. They reject the BVI shell companies, understanding that the UAE's 2026 regulatory environment favors transparent, localized structure. The synthesizer commands the lawyer to establish a DIFC prescribed company linked directly to an ADGM Abu Dhabi Global Market Foundation. This structure legally separates the assets from biological patriarch, neutralizing global inherent taxes while maintaining localized UAE control. The synthesizer rejects the Swiss cold storage, instructing the crypto custodian to route the digital assets through ADGM regulated digital asset exchange. ensuring perfect compliance and the immediate liquidity against the family's real estate acquisition. The synthesizer then structures the private equity allocations to yield exact enough monthly liquidity to fund the family's lifestyle, completely bypassing the 10-year lockup constraint. The master synthesizer did not write the legal contract. They did not personally execute the crypto transfer. They did not pick the private equity stock. They acted as a central processing unit. The algorithmic router that aligned the specific tools of a specialist into a flawless, unshakable fortress of a sovereign wealth. This is why the master synthesizer is paid a massive 7-figure retainer, while the specialists are paid an hourly rate. The value is in the architecture, not the bricks. Phase 4, the physics of cross-border systems thinking. If you want to capture the massive premium being paid by these family offices, you must understand the exact cognitive upgrade required. You must develop a cross-border systems thinking. The biological human brain naturally defaults to the linear thinking. If I do A, then B happens. This is the mindset of an employee. Systems thinking is the ability to map second, third, and fourth order consequences across completely unrelated domains. The tactical generalists understand that a change in single variable ripples through the entire matrix. 1. The regulatory ripple. When the UK government announced the abolition of the non-dom tax status and introduced global inheritance taxes of 2025-2026, the linear specialist saw a tax problem. The systems thinker saw a massive immediate real estate boom in Dubai. A surge in demand for ADGM Foundations setups and bottlenecks in Tier 1 private school admissions for elite expat children. The generalist immediately positioned the family office to capture the incoming capital flight. 2. The psychological variable. The most complex variable in a family office is not the market, it is the biology of a family itself. The patriarch who built the $500 million fortune operates on extreme risk-taking algorithm. The second generation who inherited the wealth operates on capital preservation algorithm. The generalist must execute the psychological engineering. They must structure the trust and the governance charter that mathematically neutralize the inevitable biological friction between the generation before it destroys the portfolio. 3. The technological interface. A tactical generalist in 2026 must possess a deep understanding of technological architecture. You do not need to code the smart contract. You must understand the tokenized real-world asset, the RWA function. You must understand the latency between a traditional Swift banking and the blockchain settlement, and how to use the latency to optimize capital flow. You are building a mental API, the application programming interface. You must be able to interface with the lawyer, the developer, the bankers, the billionaire, translating their isolated language into a unified sovereign strategy. Phase 5, the sovereign synthesizer, the career pivot. We have diagnosed the death of a hyper-specialist. We have mapped the liability of silos, decoded the DIFC boardroom execution, and established the physics of a systems thinking. The final phase is the execution of your personal career pivot. If you are currently a highly paid but deeply siloed specialist, the tax accountant, a corporate lawyer, or a senior engineer, how do you transition into an apex role of sovereign synthesizer? Step 1. Liquidate the silo. You must intentionally stop acquiring deep technical knowledge in your primary field. If you are a lawyer, stop reading case law. If you are already competent enough, you must aggressively expand your horizon bandwidth. You must dedicate the massive cognitive energy to studying macroeconomic, behavioral psychology, blockchain architecture, and global immigration framework. You must widen your surface area. Step 2. Engineer the synthesis, the PAFR protocol. When you communicate with the C-suite or a family office principal, you must never speak in the language of your old specialty. You deploy the problem, action, friction framework, the PAFR, from a macro perspective. Do not say, I drafted the articles of association for a new SPV. Say, I architected a legal foundation in DIFC to absorb the incoming European capital flight, neutralizing the global tax liability while ensuring local banking compliance. You must visually and biologically present yourself as the architect, not the mechanic. Step 3. Broadcast the meta strategy. You cannot wait to be discovered. You must broadcast your horizontal dominance to the global capital market. You step into your acoustic-treated digital studio. You deploy your elite Cineline gear, your Sony FX series camera with the razor-sharp cinematic lighting. You import a complex multivariable wealth preservation flowchart into DaVinci Resolve 20. You do not record a video explaining a minor text loophole. You record a highly structured, unsentimental video essay deconstructing exactly how an ultra-high net worth family can synthesize an ADGM Foundation, Golden Visa residency, and tokenized real estate to completely shield their wealth from geopolitical volatility. You broadcast this artifact to the managing director of a multi-family office in Dubai, Singapore, and Geneva. When an MFO director watches that broadcast, they instantly recognize the signature of a master synthesizer. They recognize a cognitive equal. They know they can hire 100 lawyers tomorrow, but they cannot easily find a biological operator who can safely navigate the chaotic intersection of global wealth. They will extract you from your silo. They will pull you into the boardroom. They will pay you a massive uncapped premium because you are the ultimate structural hedge against a complex world. Look closely at your current resume and your daily operational output. Are you optimizing a single variable while remaining completely blind to the system? The 2026 market will commoditize the specialist and automate the niche. The only operator who will survive and command the absolute heights of the global capital are those who can see the entire board. Stop drilling deeper into your silo. Broaden your architecture, master the synthesis, become the tactical generalist, and the ultra-wealthy will hand you the keys to the kingdom. Process the data, execute the strategy, and I will see you at the top.